Parker Schnabel just made a groundbreaking discovery in Alaska. Quite literally, he's found a hidden ancient gold mine deep in the wild and rough land, surrounded by tough terrain and stories of failed attempts. Parker found clues that hinted at gold, still waiting to be found. This wasn't just any discovery, it could change everything and uncover treasures thought to be lost forever. But as Parker got deeper into the search, danger grew, and the mystery got even bigger. Parker knew that gold mining was never easy. It wasn't about finding gold lying on the ground. It was about facing tough challenges. The area's PED seemed to show that miners had left because they thought it was empty, but Parker wondered, had they really taken all the gold, or was there still more under the surface? The land was tough, with thick clay and weather that could change quickly, but Parker wasn't scared. He had already pulled $400,000 worth of gold in one season. Then Parker met Aurora, the daughter of the landowner. She loved the land and had lots of knowledge about it. She told stories about past gold finds that made her a great guide. Parker, Mitch, and Aurora worked together to figure out if this land could be rich in gold or just a myth. There's a lot of gold to be found out here, so I'll show you where I've had success. Sweet. On their first trip, they found some interesting things: an old rusty dredging bucket and a piece of a punch plate. These weren't just trash, they were signs that gold had been mined here before. Mitch thought maybe the old miners hadn't been careful enough back then. They didn't have the right tools to find all the gold. Aurora agreed, saying miners in the past sometimes missed bigger pieces of gold because their tools weren't good enough. This meant the land could still have gold hidden deep inside. But it wasn't all easy. Their first soil test didn't show any gold at all. Mitch, who was always practical, thought the land had been worked over so much that finding gold would be very hard. There were old mining leftovers, called tailings, all over the place. While these tailings might still have some gold, finding it would need a lot of patience and luck, things most people would give up on. But Parker, Aurora, and Mitch kept going, hoping to find out if there was still gold left or if it was just a dream. Mitch's mind was racing as he started figuring out how the old miners had worked the land. They didn't have the tools we do now, just basic equipment and a lot of muscle. They dug deep shafts and tunnels, sometimes up to 100 feet, to get to the gold. It was tough, dangerous work, and it left behind a lot of waste. The more we know about what they did and how they did it, I think the more it's going to help us out. Yeah, for sure. And it means any gold bigger than that they left behind for y'all. Exactly, yeah. But Mitch saw something different in those piles of leftover dirt. To him, they weren't just junk, they were opportunities. The miners back then might have missed out on some gold either because it was too small or too deep for their tools to find. That meant there could still be gold left, just waiting for someone with modern equipment to dig it up. The deeper Mitch dug into the history of the area, the more determined he became. But even with all his effort, his panning tests kept coming up empty. The pressure was building, and although Mitch never gave up easily, he was starting to feel the disappointment. That's when Aurora came up with an idea. She pointed out a strange mound of dirt with a birch tree growing from it. She explained that birch trees often grew in places where old mining tailings had been dumped, and their roots could dig deep into the earth, bringing up gravel and maybe even gold. Mitch didn't waste any time. He grabbed a shovel and began digging into the mound, moving carefully and purposefully. Aurora watched closely, trusting her instincts that this could be the spot they had been looking for. Finally, after some digging, the first little specks of gold appeared. They weren't huge nuggets, but it was enough to get excited about. This wasn't just a small win. It was proof that there was still potential in the claim. The discovery lifted everyone's spirits, and Mitch and Parker immediately started making plans to take full advantage of this new lead. While Parker was away, Tyler and the crew had been keeping things running smoothly at Big Red. Their hard work had paid off big time, with more than 2,000 ounces of gold recovered during Parker's absence. Almost 1,000 Oz week, almost 1,000 a week. That is crazy. I like that. Yeah, that's wild. This success reminded everyone of what could be achieved when everything clicked into place. It fueled their motivation for the next phase, exploring the full potential of the claim. They would need to use all the tools and knowledge they had gathered so far. Aurora's deep understanding of the area's history, combined with Mitch's problem-solving skills and relentless drive, made them a powerful ahead team. Wouldn't be easy, but the rewards were worth every bit of effort. The work in Alaska was just getting started. The land was harsh, the weather unpredictable, and the risks high, but for the crew this was the perfect environment to thrive. Each setback they faced was simply another challenge to conquer. They knew that mining wasn't a straight path. It was filled with twists and turns that tested their determination. As they prepared to go deeper into the claim, Parker couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. This wasn't just about striking it rich. It was about proving that with enough hard work and persistence, any obstacle could be overcome. Parker wasn't just building wealth, he was building a legacy. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, new challenges arose. The machinery they relied on was tested to the limit by Alaska's harsh conditions. Deep clay soil threatened to slow down their wash plants, and unexpected breakdowns meant long hours spent on repairs. But these setbacks only made the team more determined. Every problem solved brought them closer to uncovering the land's hidden secrets. Aurora's knowledge of the land's history was invaluable. She pointed them toward areas the old-timers had missed, explaining how shifting rivers and geological changes over the years could have moved gold to new locations. Her insights helped the team focus their efforts on the most promising spots, saving them time and reducing the guesswork. With every small glimmer of gold they found, Parker's team grew more convinced that they were on the right track. That's wild. There's a start. We're on the board, Mitch. Well, that's an awesome pan. As the crew dug deeper into the claim, they uncovered more signs of past mining efforts, rusted tools, old machinery, and forgotten shafts that told stories of dreams and hardships. Parker couldn't help but feel a connection to those early miners. He imagined the risks they had taken and the dreams they had chased, reminding him of the legacy he was now part of and the responsibility to carry it forward. Their persistence began to show results. Soil tests started revealing higher concentrations of gold, confirming that they were on the right track. Mitch's careful approach and his natural instinct for finding gold proved to be a winning combination. The team's morale soared with every new discovery, proving that their hard work and sacrifices were paying off. By the peak of the season, the crew had transformed the claim from a forgotten piece of land into a thriving operation. The sound of heavy machinery echoed throughout the valley as dirt and gravel were processed in their relentless search for gold. For Parker, this season wasn't just another mining job, it was a defining moment in his career. It was his chance to show that even the toughest claims could yield incredible rewards with the right team and the right mindset. Parker saw a future where their machines operated almost on their own, heavy-duty trucks and drills working seamlessly without needing someone to risk their life. In a sense, his operations had become a well-oiled machine where everything worked like clockwork, turning their labor into something more akin to a factory running non-stop. Digging, hauling, and sorting happened with military precision. It's not just smart, it's revolutionary. Automated systems ensure fewer breakdowns, fewer accidents, and constant output. The days of downtime, because a human operator needs rest, are over. Every second on site is maximized. A far cry from how things used to run. It's really nice when Mitch and Parker can leave and everything's still moving the way it should. You know, that's what we do. Here we find gold, and we move dirt, and hopefully there's a lot more to come. If The old miners who once worked that abandoned gold mine could see what's happening now. They'd think it was straight out of science fiction. Drones, once seen as just cool gadgets, are now essential tools equipped with high-tech cameras and sensors. These flying machines map out mining sites in a fraction of the time it used to take what once took a surveyor with a clip for weeks to do. Drones now handle in a few hours, scanning every corner of the terrain without missing a beat. No more guessing where to dig. They've got it all mapped out down to the most promising spots. But there's a bigger challenge lurking in the background: mining's reputation for harming the environment. Parker isn't turning a blind eye to it. His team is pushing for sustainable practices at every turn, from recycling water to reducing waste. They're even finding ways to make use of leftover dirt and rocks, things most people would toss aside. This approach is smart business. After all, the cleaner Parker operation, the better his reputation, and in an industry like this, reputation matters.